The United Nations Security Council was briefed on the military, political, and humanitarian situation in Libya by Undersecretary General for Political Affairs Belin Pasco on Monday, who informed the Council that given the lack of detailed understanding of the military situation in Libya, it is clear, he said, that opposition forces against Qaddafi are now at times supported with NATO air power.
It's been almost 5 months since the political crisis in Libya started. 3 months since the passage of Security Council resolutions 1973, and 100 days since the NATO operations began. While we do not have a detailed understanding of the military situation on the ground, it is clear that the initiative, although halting, is now with the opposition forces, supported at times by NATO air power. Press reports point to heavy fighting in the vicinity of Bir al-Ghanem, some 50 miles from Tripoli. There are also reports of some fighting in Brega, shelling by regime forces in Misrata, and NATO airstrikes in Tripoli.
He noted that authorities in Tripoli emphasize the centrality of the UN in dealing with the current crisis and their readiness to engage in a process to implement the Security Council's 2 resolutions on Libya, Resolution 1970 and 1973. On the humanitarian front, Mr. Pasco also notified the Security Council that over 1.1 million people have crossed the borders from Libya to Tunisia, Egypt, Niger, Algeria, Chad, and Sudan, as opposition takes control of some towns.
An estimated 3,000 individuals remain stranded at border points in Egypt, Tunisia, and Niger. Around 16,000 people have arrived by boat in Italy and Malta, and at least 1,400 people, mostly migrants, are also in the area. We're also concerned about the many migrants, mostly sub-Saharan Africans, who are sailing in dangerous conditions towards Europe from Libya. Many of these migrants remain unaccounted for or have died at sea.
Mr. President, in paragraph 19 of Resolution 1973, the Council directed the Committee to designate additional Libyan authorities, individuals or entities, as subject to the asset freeze. Most of the specific proposals are still under the Committee's consideration. However, as of the 24th of June 2011, the Committee listed 2 individuals as subject to the travel ban and assets freeze, and 1 entity as subject to the assets freeze.
Hundreds of civilians have been killed since opposition forces rose up against Qaddafi's regime, which began in February, spreading a pro-democracy movement across North Africa and the Middle East. However, Colonel Qaddafi's government denies targeting civilians, saying it was forced to act against armed criminal gangs and al-Qaeda militants. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Libyan leader Muammar Qaddafi, along with his son and intelligence chief, on charges of committing crimes against humanity. Afaf Kanja for South South News, here at the Security Council, United Nations.